So today we're going to go over box plots, and we're going to take some notes on it. We're going to kind of label everything, the different parts of a whisker box plot. So the first one we're going to talk about is what I have highlighted at the beginning there, which is the number 2. Well, 2 here is going to be our minimum. So 2 is the minimum. And let's talk about what the minimum is. So the minimum is the smallest number, and that's a 2. I'll write it again here for you. I made it thinner. Okay, 2 is the smallest number of our data that is in this box plot. So it would make sense that the opposite of our minimum, which would be our maximum, is going to be the largest number. In this case, we have 38 because this point here ends on the 38. So with it beginning at the 2 and it ends at 38, which the 38 is our maximum, which is the biggest number or highest or largest number. But we're going to write biggest number. So let's talk about the quartiles. This is probably the part that's going to be a little bit confusing, but once you practice it, it really won't be so bad. Okay, so there are 4 sections, and each section is 25%, which makes sense because there's 4 total. So each one is 1/4, which would be 25%. So let's talk about quartile 2 first, which is also the median. And the median, let's go ahead and define that real fast. The median is the middle of all the data. So it is the middle of all data. So all in caps, and then data. Again, so the median is the number that fell in the middle of all of the data. It might not look on the chart, it might not look like it's in the middle. It won't look like it's in the middle actually. But we had a list of numbers, and when we put them in order from least to greatest, this happened to be the number that fell right in the middle of the list of numbers. And that number for this situation is going to be 24, which I'm going to circle above. Our 24 is what fell right in the middle. So it fell in the middle of all the data that we had. And that's going to be called Q2, which is our quartile 2, our second quartile. So our quartile 1 is going to be the lower quartile. And it's going to involve the lower quartile. But what that is actually going to be the median or the middle of that specific quartile. So the median / middle number, I'm going to shorthand that, put the number sign, of, and in this case it's going to be the middle of the lower data. So of lower data. And if we look at our lower data, then we can see that in the lower end, right in the middle would be our 10, which I'm circling up above as well. So our Q1 is going to be 10, which is the middle of the lower data, which if we had our list of numbers, that would have fallen right in the middle of the lower quarter. So now let's go and talk about our Q3, which is the quartile / upper quartile, Q3 upper quartile. That one is going to be the middle or the median, but of the upper data, which makes sense because it's called the upper quartile. So since I'm running out of writing space here, I'm just going to kind of show you that it's the middle number of, but in this case, it's the middle of the upper data. So let's talk about spread versus range. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's look at the number for that one. We defined it, but the number that fell in the middle of the upper quartile was 30. So that's going to be our Q3 point. Quartile 3 or upper quartile, right there on 30. So now we can talk about the spread or range. That's going to be what is the distance between the lowest number, the minimum, and the maximum. So you're going to take your larger number, your maximum, and then you're going to subtract your minimum. So our maximum is 38. And if we subtract our minimum minus 2, is going to give us our 36, which is the spread. It's going to be the 38 minus the 2, which gives us a 36 spread. So the range of data that we have is 36. All right, so we have one more here at the bottom. It's called the interquartile range. So our interquartile range is going to be 20 because that is the range of the interquartile, which we haven't talked much about yet, but the interquartile is inside the box. It's this data right here. So if we wanted to find the range of just that data specifically, then we would take the minimum of that data, which would be falling on here at 10, and then the maximum of that data, which is 30, because it falls over here, and then we would subtract those two, because it's still a range, it's just the interquartile range. So it's the range of that highlighted part specifically. So we're going to take that's called the Q3, okay? Q3, which is 30. We're going to subtract our Q1, which is our 10, and we're going to get 20. So the interquartile range is 20 because it's between 10 and 30. It covers everything in there. Again, this might seem confusing at first, but we are going to go over it and practice it a lot. So all we're going to do here at the end is go up top to the picture, and I'm going to label the top with some of the words from the bottom. So for instance, that 2, that is called the minimum of the entire data, all of the data. All right. The 10 is our Q1. Our Q2 is at the 24. So Q2. And then our Q3 is going to be on the 30. So that's going to be Q. Oh, my pen didn't want to work. Sorry. Q3, which is at the 30. Now the 38 at the end here is our maximum. So max. Each one of these is going to be 25% of all of the data. So make sure you go ahead and label that also 25%, 25%. And between Q2 and Q3 is also 25%. And then our last quarter of it here is also 25%, which all of those adding up would give us 100% of the data. So that is it for your notes today. And then there is going to be another YouTube video that's available on Schoology as well. So if you want to watch that, that one is also very helpful and breaks it down a little bit more also. So thank you for your time and good luck.